My friends, hello. We are back for some more of the DLC run in Oxygen Not Included, Spaced Out. This is video number 7? 7, yes. And we're sitting here at cycle 106, and we have 2 colonies up and running like we looked at last time, which I'm still kind of trying to get my brain wrapped around. Our population balance between these 2 sides is 6 on our main one, which is apparently called Goopiel, and 4 on the other, which is called Devonera. So yeah, we're sitting at a, I guess, pretty reasonable population. I don't really know what to expect from this, and it looks like I just totally opened up an area that I shouldn't have, so this is nice. Maybe a huge mess right as we start talking about it. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get all that set up. But yeah, so I am trying to just do this in a way that doesn't make me sound too disorganized, but trying to maintain 2 different colonies has definitely been a challenge. So I've written down some notes, and let's just burn down that list so we know what we're talking about here. The first thing I want to talk about is something that I probably should have seen a little bit earlier, and that somebody did mention to me about these plug slugs. These guys are very interesting, to say the least, but they are extremely expensive. And I can't remember the username of somebody that told me this, so if you are that person who told me this, then shout out to you. But yeah, the thing that I am starting to realize is that these are insanely expensive on metal, and it's to the point that I'm actually really running out of metal, and having to go on expeditions just to go get some. So this is definitely turning into quite the interesting setup here as far as trying to get power for these things. So I have tried to go down to 2 plug slugs at a time. The other reason that I want to go down this low is because I didn't realize that once you tame them, they would have such ridiculous power output. Whenever these things go to sleep, we'll go ahead and check back, but the power output of the tame ones are insane. So we'll see that here in just a second. I want to kill this younger one, actually. I don't want to trust the adult because I still get power from it. Yay, meat! So yeah, the plug slugs, this setup has definitely been muted quite a bit from where it was before, mostly because I am running out of power severely. And they're about to go to sleep right now, so we'll be able to see how much these things actually produce. And right now, outside of these little manual generators that get run on every once in a while, these are my only power source. But if you look at the tamed ones, they put out a lot of power, and of course I'm being trolled right as I say that, because this one's not putting out as much power because it is glum. Thanks, game. Thanks for trolling me pretty hard. The numbers that I was seeing here when these things were well maintained was about 1600 watts or 1200 watts. I'm guessing it's dependent on the creature's happiness, but of course we're not seeing exactly that right when I want to show it in a video, so thanks, game. Thanks for messing with me. I definitely need to get these guys food in here, so let me go ahead and solve that really fast. Start putting in some copper. But also, this is not going to be our long-term solution. I have grabbed some copper out of here, but the long-term solution is going to be solar panels. So I have not made glass myself. Mostly what I've done is in these rooms that actually have these little teleporters, there has been glass that has been behind those areas, and I've just deconstructed them. So I now have a good amount of glass to make solar panels out of, and I have reached the edge of the map, I guess, the surface. So I don't really know what's going to be happening out here because they're changing a lot of the mechanics of space. So I have no idea if there's something I should be worried about or what's supposed to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very dumb, and I'm just going to start putting solar panels down in the vain hope that this is going to work out like I expect. So let me just start dropping solar panels here, and you can see the glass that I have actually has enough for a handful of them. And I don't know how much this is going to produce at peak hours, or if there's anything special I need to do. I know that there's more efficient ways to set this up, but we'll not worry about that for right now. So we're going to keep this panel going, or rather this asteroid going with these. Let's set up solar panels on the other one so we don't need to worry about power here, because right now I'm just on manual power. And I do have glass here as well, because I did deconstruct the glass that was in these starting areas. So definitely a very cool thing to start off with, and definitely a good way to get energy at the beginning of the game. Don't know if that's really going to survive very long after they make some design iterations, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and drop some panels here. And if I need to, I can dig this out, but it's already really cold. I'm not too worried about that. Drop some heavy watt wire up here. There we go. So that should hopefully solve our energy problems, at least before the end of the game. So yeah, that's going to be my plan for right now. I do need more batteries here, but I don't have any refined metal. Which brings me to my next thing that I'm going to talk about, which is how you actually send stuff through these teleporters. I have still not done this before. Let's go ahead and activate these just for the sake of it. I don't have a way to... oh, I do have a way to receive. Okay, getting my two asteroids mixed up here. Looks like I need a field researcher in order to do this, so I don't know if I actually have somebody here that can do it. Let me activate the ones on the other side. But the intention here is I'm going to start shipping refined metal out to this other asteroid now that I have something set up to refine metal either here or through this metal refinery which I just set up, so I could get some warmer polluted water in here, which I'm going to need in a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be my plan. Let me start activating these guys, as I have dug out to them and kind of reserved the space for them. Cut through the ice biome here, not super elegant, but you know, whatever. Now I've just got these random pockets of ice that I don't really have any plans for, so we'll find something to do with that. But yeah, so let's, I guess let's let this play and let the solar panels get built over time. But yeah, I want to send some refined metals over to these other sides. And something that another one of my lovely viewers told me is that you can actually send multiple things through this. It's not just solid. So if we go to the overlay for plumbing, you can see there's a inlet for this. And you can also see, or sorry, an output for this. You can also see the same thing exists for the gas pipes. So you could theoretically send a lot of stuff through this. I don't exactly know how this works, so let's just try to activate it the best we can. Assuming I'm pretty sure I have a researcher that has this skill. Let me double check. I pressed the wrong button. All right, researcher, what do you got? We need field research, which I think you have. I don't even know what this is. Let's just go ahead and grab that. So I think I said this before, but my plant inside my Great Hall was dying, so my duplicates were not getting the bonuses from that anymore, so that was kind of awkward. But yeah, so let's play around with these once they're up. Another thing I'm going to try in this run, or rather in this video if we get far enough, is I want to start setting up my space area. And I think this has been very much simplified. I do need more refined metals before I can do that, which will be our only blocker before we're actually allowed to do that. So I need enough refined metal to be able to do this, and I apparently don't have enough right now, so I will try to aim for that, and that was yet another suggestion from a viewer. If we get to it this video, then great, but if not, then we'll do it next time. We'll do it live! Yeah, other than that, we've just got the metal refinery, which we're going to start getting up for various different types of refining. And I think I'm going to get rid of this now that I don't really need it anymore. And let's make sure that we have our pipes up to start providing the system with some kind of water. So I'm going to start pumping water through this, and I'm going to probably set up a little bit of automation to decide where we want things to go. Whether we want cold water to be coming through, or whether we want hot water to be coming through, to kind of keep our supply of polluted water up so we can keep growing food. Yeah, lots of circular things that are pretty interesting right now. Let's grab some omelets and just throw them right on the floor. That's what I do with mine. Also, you will notice I did have to put some heaters up here, which I really don't like doing. Only because this area is getting kind of cold. This refrigerator idea has worked out, I suppose, but it's also caused a little bit of collateral damage. I think in the future I probably won't do this again, of like leaving something inside the ice biome. I think I'll probably just create a more curated setup to keep one of these things cooler inside water. My like running ice back and forth. I think I'd rather do that than have an opening into a whole area over there, but no, still interesting to try out. I can't really know how it's going to work unless you try it out. I always still forget that these things require power too, so that trips me out a lot. Alright, solar panels. Oh, one other thing that we need to start worrying about is these mask stations. So I think that they tried to make it so that the suits were a little bit more accessible by just having masks so that dupes could at least breathe. Clearly that won't shield them from temperature, at least not that I know of. So temperature will still be a concern, but at least for being able to work out here, like if we have a station for a telescope, as long as I have a mask, I think it'll be okay. So I want to set one of these up as well. Let's go ahead and plop this down here, I guess. This is going to be very disorganized, just because this is our first run and because we don't really know what we're doing. Maybe someday we'll go back to this original run and realize how bad all these were, which is always a fun thing to do. Why have these not been activated? What's my researcher doing? Do I need to research or activate the other side first? Is that what's going on? I don't know what my researcher is doing. Let's see if we can figure out where he is. Looks like he's... Okay, that was a nice center. I don't even know where he is. Mason, where are you? Follow cam. Okay. And what are you doing? Fabricating on the sludge press? Okay, here's the change setting. I guess I can't really, like, change the priority on this. Not that I know of. Oh, let me move this over. Yeah, I can't choose what priority this is at as far as I know, so that's kind of annoying. Definitely something that needs to get fixed so that we can have them prioritize that, so I guess he'll get to it when he can. When there's no other errands to do, I suppose. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I always have to remind myself to kind of jump back and forth and see what's going on here. We do need refined metals here, at least for the batteries. I'll probably just drop a bunch of singular batteries here for the time being, even though they're really inefficient comparatively. On this side of the colony, I'm starting to set up some of the carbon dioxide collection methods, because I think that's going to be something useful for rockets, as far as I've been able to read. So what I've been doing in the meantime for rockets is I have just been trying to research some of the random stuff that I've never seen before. So all this stuff in here, looks like this is some kind of rover bot. I have no idea what that's for. We've got some payload opener. I guess this is to open up things that have been... I don't even know what this does. We'll have to just find out. But yeah, there's some other stuff here that I've just researched so that we'll figure out what happens. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff that we'll just have to try out. But yeah, I've just been researching random stuff there just to hopefully get up to a point where we can actually use it. Our operator is very stressed out. That's because we have too much going on here. Getting too distracted by too many things. We need somebody that is capable of activating these teleporters. So I'm going to probably have to grab another researcher, or maybe I already have one of these guys that could use it. I don't even know if Jean is specialized in anything. Let's see what he's doing. We've got him doing rocket piloting. That doesn't really help us right now, so I guess we'll just start specializing in research so he can open those up. Yeah. Of course, we're mopping up the huge mess that I left over here, which I didn't really have to do, but I'm trying to get all the way across the other side of the map so I can see what's here, and we're almost there, kind of bumping up against the edge, and kind of deconstructing some of these other buildings that we found over here that aren't overly useful, but I guess we'll get materials from them, I suppose. Don't really need to cook anything right now. Speaking of which, I wonder if the recipes that are shown are based upon what supplies you have in the area or what you've ever discovered before. So I don't see anything that requires the water weeds, which are these guys, but maybe I don't technically have access to it yet, so I don't know. We need to really do something about this stressed out dupe. I think the best thing to do in these cases is usually just to build a stations to get rid of their skills. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, let's put it at a better place. Oh, I can't copy this. Interesting bug. Don't want that. We want the skill scrubber. Sure. Go ahead and drop it right there. Add some wire. And prioritize this pretty heavily. I had to do this in the other base as well. Only because the Great Hall was disabled for so long, and I guess I just must have gotten too greedy with this dupe as far as what I was assigning them. Or maybe they ate something good one day or something like that. But yeah, weird stuff can happen. Definitely gets annoying. We might actually run into a situation where they start doing bad stuff because of this stress, so don't be surprised if that happens. Which is at least falling right now, but their stress reaction is a vomiter, so... that's not great. I'm also really low on food. I need to stay focused on the problems here. Another cool thing about this expansion is that if you have any problems, it'll usually show up over here. I've gotten into kind of a bad habit of ignoring a lot of them because some of them are not super urgent. Like 49% breathability is not that big a deal when I actually can breathe pretty reliably. Most of this is because of pressure, because I don't have enough tools as far as oxygen is concerned to put out enough pressure to really pressurize this very well. I also may just keep moving duplicates over to the other one because I can produce oxygen a little bit better over there. This also makes me wonder if I'll eventually get to a point where I will just be sending oxygen through these teleporters. I don't know what I will do with the gas or liquid inputs of those. Oh, he's doing it! Doing the same dance as before, slapping the button. It's definitely what I do when I needed to control a button of that size. You just kind of whack it for a little while. And it looks like it's disabled because there's only 1 out of 2 set up. And yeah, it looks like they're both set up, so whenever we get to research over the other side, or we could just move them right now. It's recharging. We'll do it here in just a second. Alright, getting close on these solar panels. Once we get far enough on these solar panels, I'm probably just going to kill these plug slugs for right now. Only because they're just such a huge waste of... Uh-oh. We've got some stress vomiting going on. Yep, right down on top of the pump. That's great. That's just the place I want to do it. Right where we're going to be pumping it out. Did we ever actually get power here? Nope. That was not a good idea by me. Let me go ahead and connect these grids really fast. Well, I could probably just move this up. There we go. And there we go. And I guess we don't really need that. Well, it's happening. By the way, I don't know if this will ever be a run I will try, but I'm wondering if I can ever make a run where my only water source is vomiting dupes. I partially don't know if I could do that because I would just feel really bad having to see that all the time and having to see them like suffering, even though it's kind of my job to make sure that they don't suffer, but that could be a silly run idea in the future, just to produce water only from vomit. Yeah, lots of puns you could go with that, but I'll just let you use your imagination there. Yeah, so let's try to stay focused on what we're working on here. We are working on solar panels on this side. We need to get rid of skills on Tiny Blump because they are having a very hard time right now. And we need to probably get rid of this because we don't really need that anymore. Same with this. I've also pinned a couple of resources here, which is a cool thing you can do now. You can pin the resources that you really care about. And I need algae, and I need algae pretty badly. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue to produce oxygen here, but that's going to definitely be a problem. And maybe this will be one of the first things that I use the teleporters for, is just to send oxygen through. I don't even know if that's a viable thing, but maybe fun to kind of mess around with that and see if that's something we could potentially work with. I also have no sustainable water here as far as I can tell. I haven't found anything yet. So sustainable oxygen is going to be a big problem on this asteroid. We're running all kinds of problems. This is definitely much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Let me grab a couple more spots of algae here. Do something like that, actually. Well, no, we don't want to do that because it'll dig out the water. We don't want to pour it all over ourselves like we did earlier. That'll fall. That'll be okay. Alright, I'm getting really impatient. Let's see what happens with these solar panels. I'm guessing that they're going to work pretty much the same way as they did before, where you obviously get charged during the day, and at night you don't. But the thing I still have not seen is I haven't seen anything that will damage these solar panels, and that was one of the biggest reasons why this was so difficult before. So if solar panels are basically just like an early game power supply, then I'm happy about that in the sense that it makes it much easier than they were before. I don't know if that'll stay interesting though, so we'll have to see how that works later in the game. Alright, let's check on the other place. Jump back over. We got our setups going here. There's not a lot of food happening, and that's because I am totally out of metal. Oh, man. This is a super duper grind. Well, we don't want these guys anymore, and all of our metal is in here, so Assuming we get solar panels soon, which we have one. No power wire connected. That's because it's not ready yet. Local colony lacks astronomy. And I think I saw that in the skill tree. Yeah, right here. So we will need our researchers to be able to do that, which is going to be this guy. So we'll set that up. And I'm just going to get all the food out of here and kill these plug slugs because I don't want them anymore. I at least have the manual power setups for right now, so this was an interesting experiment, but it's just not really worth it. Either that or I just spent way too much on the amount of plug slugs that I had before, because I think if you're grooming like even just 2, I think that's a lot for the early game. But we got our metal back, so let's try to get this all finished up as soon as we can. And we'll start messing around with this stuff, hopefully before the end of the video, which we've got another about 10 minutes or so, so we should be okay. Okay. It's weird having to jump back and forth, and that's one bit of feedback I'm going to say about this thus far. It's hard to remember what you were doing in certain places. And I don't know how long that's going to sustain. Overheat temperature, -18. I don't... What am I looking at here? Dirt? Is this the properties of the dirt? Or is this the properties of... Yeah, I guess so. This is a weird overlay. I guess I've never noticed that before, but that's a pretty weird property of dirt. But anyway, here I go being distracted again. Well, this is another option. We have no hatchlings on this map, but here's some. And this could get us into coal power. So this is an interesting print right now. Let's go ahead and grab them, and then we'll repurpose this room for hatches instead of these plug slugs like they were before. And if any plug slugs come out of here, I'll just kill them. And we'll switch over to coal power, considering we have a way to store our carbon dioxide already. And yeah, this is just a lot better idea, I think. So that was a convenient print. Let's set this for our usual, which is 8. I believe, no, if you count the egg, which we're going to have problems with early on, I'm just going to set this to 6. Set these to hatches and hatchlings, and I'll reshape this eventually. We don't need to do it right now. All right. Let's prioritize this as well, just so we can get onto our normal power source. All right, we got food here, we got oxygen here, we got duplicants here doing their job. We're messing around with these guys. We're trying to grow some food on that front. So this area looks pretty good. Jump back over. We're almost ready with one of the solar panels. We'll finally get to see it working. And this has already been charged up by our battery, so that's been pretty good. Do we actually get the skills off of them? Tiny Blump, where are you at? Yep, your morale is back down. Okay, cool. So let's reassign some skills for you. You're an operator, so we definitely want that. Was that why it got too high? Was I just being too careless there? Yeah, maybe. I don't know what else I would assign to them. That was pretty weird. Oh, if I scrub the skills, it takes that away. I guess that's not the worst thing. Maybe that was why, actually. I was getting too many points being spent there. Well, they're at least equal, so hopefully I don't just put myself right back in the same situation that I tried to dig out of. So, here we go. Definitely need a lot of food here, so let me go ahead and prioritize these, otherwise we're going to start running out. And if we had a researcher on the side, I could just ship them more. And that's going to be one thing that's weird about this. This is what I was thinking about a little bit when I was thinking about teleporting stuff. That is that if you only have one input and output, I don't know how to do anything other than manually deciding which goes to what side. So for example, if I wanted to send food from here, how would I know specifically what to actually load into this, other than just keeping a bunch of stuff nearby and loading the food if I needed to send that over? Like, I don't feel like I'm making sense here, but basically there could be 20 different things that I want to send over there, but only certain things at a time. So if I wanted to only send food, I feel like I'd have to manually do stuff to tell it to send back and forth, rather than setting up any kind of automation, because I don't think there's a way to send an automation signal here to say, hello, I need food, and to have this say like, oh, I know you need food now. So that's going to be a little bit weird to work with once we get it. All right, solar panel. Current wattage, 380. Yay, free power for deconstructing some stuff. So that's cool. And we've got a telescope up here. I don't know what they are doing. So are we exploring? Is my revealing tiles on the map now because of this? Whoa, this is huge. I guess so. I guess that's what he's doing, is revealing tiles on the map by using it. So that's kind of cool. And I don't think we have any refined metal to get used out here yet. Maybe we do. Let's see if we have enough for rocketry. Nope, not quite yet. This also says you're missing resources of refined metal 800 kilograms. Does that mean I've never had 800 kilograms at a time? Or is this actually not what I think it is? Let's start putting in some orders for copper. Just to produce enough, and maybe we can get this up by the end of the video. And if that's the case, then I may just start the next video immediately afterwards so we can start messing around with space exploration. What I need to do, though, is I need to set up some lines here so that I can control the temperature that comes out. So if I want cold, this is like... And by the way, if any of you are from the United Kingdom, you will need to confirm this for me, which I don't know if people actually call it the United Kingdom when they're over there, but what I heard is that for your sinks, you have 2 different faucets depending on what temperature water you want to come out of, or what temperature water you want out of each. So what I understand is that, like, most other parts of the world, you have a faucet, and then you have a control that determines the temperature that comes out of the single faucet. What I've heard in, I think it's England more specifically, is that there are commonly sinks that have 2 faucets, meaning there are 2 spouts where water comes out, and one of them is scaldingly hot and one of them is freezing cold. Which, there's a lot of dumb stuff that my country does, the United States. Namely, a thing that people have complained about a lot, which is our Fahrenheit temperature system. But man, 2 different, like, faucets for dramatically different, like, sink temperatures. Just combine them into the same one, man. The rest of us have this solved. What's going on? All right, anyway. So what we will want here is some kind of thermosensor. I'll just set up something simple as we get more copper. And I want to change this based upon the temperature that's about to be pumped out. And the temperature that's about to be pumped out is going to be anywhere between 50 and 86, and this is already too cold. So I want this to be one and this to be another. This will be like, if it's too hot, I want cold water, and if it's too cold, I want hot water. I think I said that right. Okay, so we'll do that. And then now that we have both of these set up, I should probably route the hot water into its own tank somewhere. So let's do something a little silly. Let's have this be cold water, and let's have this be hot water. So if I want cold water, I'm going to run it down here, like so, with my knee. And then if I want it to come back out, I guess it doesn't really matter the order, but I'll just go ahead and drop it out like this. Get some rotation on there. And then the hot water, right? Yeah, hot water is going to come in here, and it will come out up here and get dropped onto the same place. I guess I only really need one, and it depends on what kind. I should probably also hook up a thing to make sure we're not dumping too much water in here. So this is basically like what kind of water, and this is whether I need water at all. So I can cancel one of these. Let's make sure we don't overfill this. So I want to make sure that we set this up to be maybe here is when we will want more water. That gets too low. Where there's also like this thin layer of regular water on top, which ironically enough is preventing it from gassing off. So that's been pretty helpful. So if we know there's only going to be one at a time, then I think what we can do is just have these both go to the same outlet. Although, that's kind of dumb. I might not always need to do that, so might as well just put 2. Okay, and then I need to know which one that I want. And both of these need to be on AND gates. So let's go ahead and drop an AND gate for 1. And for the other. As I use the copper that we were so desperately trying to get, but whatever. Probably not going to get that to that anyway because we are now at time. We are now at 30 minutes for this video. I think because we are so close to actually starting on rockets and space exploration, I'm just going to stop here. And I will save, and my next video will be immediately after this. We will not let any more time pass because I feel like we're about to hit a pretty big landmark in seeing new stuff in the DLC. So the next video that comes out for the DLC run will be immediately after this one. Check that out, and also check out some of the other content I have on the channel, such as things going on with the pointless challenges. We have 100 dupes over there, and we are currently starving and might die. That's been pretty fun. And also going to be working on some more tutorials, probably closer to when the holiday break starts, when I have more time to actually set them up and plan them and record them and stuff like that. So check those out soon. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in another video very, very soon. Hopefully every day until the breaks are over. So yeah, I'll see you then.